Hi everybody, this is Zeffy, and today I'm doing a different video for you. I pulled out the box that I had stored my Christmas journals in last year. I'm going to have some difficulty filming this. I'm sitting here in my lounge, and last year I put them all away because I had no more space for them in my craft room. And they also get awfully dusty if they're out the whole year through. So I thought I'll just share with you the different styles I've made over the years, because I'm on a Facebook group now called December Daily Inspiration Anything Goes. And there's a lot of talk there about December dailies, and there's a lot of girls that have never made one before. So I thought I'll just show the different styles that I've created over the years. My first one was in 2010, and I had only been scrapbooking for a year, so I didn't have a lot of things. So I bought this kit from Catherine Krieger from Life on the Scrap Beach, and this is basically a gatefold album. And that year I also did, let me try not to wiggle it around a lot. This year in 2010, Tim was doing his 12 tags of Christmas, and so I incorporated them into the book. Of course, I never had a lot of the stuff that he used, so I improvised along the way. For instance, that rosette I made out of Ferrero Rocher paper. So that's how it goes. I like my journals to morph according to the events of the year. So as I looked through this yesterday, I've decided on various things that I don't like. I didn't like the gatefold, is too complicated for people to look at. There was a girl on the Facebook group that was thinking of using a spiral album, and this is what happens in a spiral, especially if you embellish too thickly. You don't have enough space for your spine to grow, so you get this crocodile effect. My friend Nectaria calls this the chunky monkey. If you use washi, it's good to use a little bit of glue underneath it just to hold it down. This is 213. I'm jumping a bit. I'm going to show them to you as they come out the box. I like my album to be generic. I don't want it to be, I don't like my album to look like everybody else's album. So by how I achieve that is I incorporate things that happen that day. For instance, this is an envelope from a crop we went to with friends. So I use that. I use wrapping paper. I use daily ephemera. That's a Christmas card I got when I went to a monastery. That's the sketch that the nuns have, and I just colored that a bit gold. So I like to use ephemera, and I also like to do my own embellishments. Like those are the Heidi swap things. And so it goes. So this is also a no-no for Zeffy. 214. I'll leave 214 for last because that comes closer to my style. Another thing I discovered was that 6x6 is also too small for me. I think I'm going to move this box out the way so I can show you better. I'm going to put it on the floor. I'm sitting here, and I had started, this was Kaiser Craft, and I had started one. Okay, and I only got halfway through the month. I bound it with ribbon, and it wasn't enough, and then I made a second one. So I've put it all in this box. 6x6 is definitely too small. Maybe it will be fine if you just do a couple of days of December, but it's definitely too small for, at least for my family. I've got 3 kids and 2 grandchildren, so our life is hectic over December. You see there I've used a champagne cork. So it's definitely too small for me. So that's not an option. So this was in a box, a funny looking box, but anyway. 212 was also a bit of a disaster. Sounds like I just have disasters. This was a lesson from a girl called Flo when I went to scrap to, where did we go? In Paris somewhere, Vaison de Scrap, I think it was. And she had given us this kit. I don't know if she had done it or if I misunderstood, but the pages were just not working the way she had worked out. They were meant to be mounted on this chipboard, but because it was too heavy, when it came across it would just pop off. So I had to fix this up, and then the outside cover was too small, so you can see this is how I extended the cover. And I had also opened the spine of this one. I made a new spine completely. This year my dad died, so on the 1st. So the book morphs. This is how my December turned out, and this is the way you go. So I don't know if I'm 100% happy about preparing all my pages. I like to know where I'm going, and I like my albums to just morph out as December progresses. That's a die cut my sister had sent me from South Africa that year because my brother came over, so that went in. And so it goes. What I learned from this album is glitter embellishments are difficult, because if there's a photo across the way, they scratch the photo. Can you see here in retrospect afterwards, I reprinted this photo because I had made this glitter tree here with corrugated cardboard and some wire, but the glitter, it stickles actually. It was scratching my photo, so I put a bit of vellum between it. So you live and learn. What else? I quite like this binding system, though, I must say. It's got canvas. Okay, let me just bring it a bit closer. Can you see there's canvas that's on the chipboard? You glue the canvas on with double-sided tape, and then the canvas goes onto your binding, but it was popping off. So what I did is I put it in with brads here. Can you see? And then on this side I've used ribbon to cover up the little spokes of the brads. Look, granted my pages are very heavy because they are heavily embellished. I mean, this one has got a metal frame on it, plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages, this, and then if you go over the page, it's got all those little tags. This is what you do when 17, 18, 19, nothing much happened on those days, so I just put them all on one day. And so it goes. 214 is an album that I designed completely on my own. I used Webster's pages that year. I use Webster's pages and file folders. You all know I live in Greece, so you know, getting stuff here is, you know, it's pricey. I do get some things, but I try and use what, you know, stuff that I find over here. So what I did is I use file folders that I found here, and I use my silhouette, and I made it like this. Even this spine, you can see over here, I needed to open it up because I hadn't left enough space for all of this, because this is quite chunky. Can you see I folded up too much, so it was touching this page and it was opening up. So I opened the spine before I bound it, and that's another reason why I like to do my covers last. My covers I do last because you never know, you know, what might happen. So it doesn't help you have your cover ready at the beginning of the season and then it doesn't fit. What I use here are, all of these are Project Life pages. That there's chipboard, and here are the pocket, just 2 of them. Oh, I had made another album where I had 4. But that's like, here's a 1 page, 1 of them. And here's another 2. Actually, that is most probably, no, it's not. Okay, so I quite like this. My kids don't enjoy this a lot. My kids don't like having to open up little pockets and folders and stuff. So this is all constructed of chipboard, of file folders and pockets. There's 1 file folder, And here's another one. And then these I've just cut up and made smaller stuff. This is quite a nice envelope. I found this on YouTube. I can't remember who it is, but it's got a lot of pockets and stuff. And I take my December daily through to the 6th of January, which is Epiphany. And that, technically speaking, is your 12th day of Christmas. So, and it's my daughter's feast day on that day. So, I take it through to there. Okay, here I've used the bought album. And I'm not going to say who. I think it might be Simple Stories. I'm not sure. And it had these embossed hearts on it, which my daughter doodled one day. She sat with a glue pen and drew them all in, and then the pen ran out, so the back isn't finished. And quite conveniently, someone had given me a rack with stars on it, so I used that. And this is more like, the other thing is, you can see it's very difficult to stick things on to these plastic sleeves on the outside. The most effective, I've seen that from Pocket Life, from the pocket letters that we used to make to give to our friends. The best thing is tape runner, ATC tape. The glossy accents comes right off. Once again, this was an envelope from Typo from South Africa. My sister had sent me a present, 25th of, what's that, the 9th September, and I just used it because I liked the deer there. I like the style, but I'm going to go bigger this year. I'm going to use a A4, and I'll show you that in another video, because I did a big album from a trip to Russia recently, and it's very cost effective because I found all the sleeves here in Athens. That's my little elf that I made that year, and that picture is an advent calendar that my daughter surprised me with. So once again, my album morphed for December around the advent calendar, because every day I used the number. I don't know if you can see on this page. I used number 1, and I used her card every day from the advent calendar, and it was a Mars bar in there. So that's how that went. See, there's number 2. So I've used, that's what she had in the one day on number 3. There's a photo of it. So I used that. Here it says write a letter to Santa, so I've tucked the letter in there. Here, number 5, I woke up number 5, and my elf had opened up my advent calendar, and he had number 5 spread out on the carpet. So that's how it goes throughout the year. It all just morphs out. Here, the one year she had, not the one year, excuse me, on the 16th, she had made me this camera, and she called it from Zeffy, Zecon. And my prompt for that day was to take a photo. So I used it in here. So this year I'm thinking of using sleeves. I'm thinking of using more lace this year because I really like lace. That's 25th. I used a postcard because I think, and I say this over and over again, and I'm going to say it over and over again, we all seem to forget that Christ is actually the star of Christmas. No one ever talks about Christ in Christmas. It's a big hoo-ha about December dailies and blah, blah, blah. But why do we have December? Why do we have Christmas? What's it all about? Why don't we address that a little bit more? I'm really, really very fanatical about that, and I'm going to carry on saying that. And people may not like what I say. Over here, even though I'm Greek Orthodox, I really loved the Pope's speech that Christmas, so I've put it in. This is my niece in South Africa that was top in the country. She passed matric with 8 distinctions, and she was in the top 3rd for English. So she comes into my book. So that's how it is. This is the new year, Sweet 16. A little saying from Mandela. And I just want to show you my last page, which is Epiphany. So once again, I've just used an icon of Epiphany and I've just written a few words about that. Okay, so that's my December daily for 2:15. I've got videos for most of the stuff, so I'll leave you with that. If you want to know anything else, let me know and maybe we can go into more detail. So leave me a comment. I'd love to hear your ideas and especially the aspects about Christ in Christmas. I'd like to hear what you think about that. And do me a favor and incorporate Christ into your album. I think that will be good. I sound like a preacher now, I know. But anyway, bye everybody. Keep well.